All right, so now we're going to talk about acid-base balance. And we've already talked about the lungs excreting carbon dioxide. And the easiest way to change the acid-base balance of the lung is through how fast you breathe. So short-term and immediate balancing of the blood in terms of pH is through how fast we're breathing. So this is the speed, the depth, and rate of our breaths. And we talked about this back in the respiratory system. So just a little review. I'm going to have to turn around and make sure I'm on the screen. So we've talked about active body tissues. So we have cells that contain mitochondria. And if they're active, then that means that they're making lots and lots of ATP. So if they're making lots and lots of ATP, they're also making lots of carbon dioxide. And so we've talked about the blood, specifically, here we are at the systemic capillaries. We've got the little red blood cells filled with hemoglobin, and so the carbon dioxide enters into the systemic capillaries, and the carbon dioxide is converted to bicarbonate and hydrogen ions. And most of the carbon dioxide is transported as bicarbonate. And so the systemic capillaries go to the lungs. So now we're at the lungs. Like my lungs. And when the blood gets to the lungs, the bicarbonate is combined with the hydrogen ions back into carbon dioxide and water. And the carbon dioxide is not very soluble, and so the carbon dioxide escapes the pulmonary capillaries, because that's where we're at, in the pulmonary capillaries, and then we exhale the carbon dioxide as waste. Oh good, I'm on the screen. Okay, so one way to affect the acid-base balance of the blood is through how fast you're breathing. Well, keep in mind that the systemic capillaries not only go to the lungs, but blood also goes to the kidneys. All right, so we've got capillaries bringing blood to the kidneys. So let's move this up, and I'm just going to draw loop of Henle right there, just because it's easy to draw. Loop of Henle. Alrighty, and so next to the loop, we've got the peritubular capillaries. Alrighty, and so normal blood pH is about 7.4. And so the kidneys help to maintain the blood pH over long term. However, it's much slower in how fast it affects the pH. However, if the pH is greater than 7.4, that means it's basic, we actually have too few hydrogen ions. Too few hydrogen ions. So what we need to do is to lower the pH, and by lowering the pH, that means we need to increase the hydrogen ion concentration. So here we've got blood that is circulating through the kidney, and as you know, most of the carbon dioxide is transported as bicarbonate and hydrogen ions. So we've got bicarbonate and hydrogen ions passing through the blood near the inside of the kidney. Okay, and so what happens is what we are going to excrete bicarbonate. So the bicarbonate is going to be put into the loop of Henle. So bicarbonate gets transported into the loop of Henle, which means that there's less bicarbonate that goes to the lungs. All right, so there's less bicarbonate to the lungs, which means that we are actually going to increase the hydrogen ion concentration of the blood, okay? Because every time we go to the lungs, and bicarbonate requires a hydrogen ion to get excreted as carbon dioxide. But if there's less bicarbonate to be gotten rid of by the lungs, then that means we have to keep those hydrogen ions, because we can't get rid of them without a bicarbonate. So if we have less bicarbonate, we're going to keep those hydrogen ions. Does that kind of make sense? I hope so. Okay. In some cases, the pH of the blood is too low. It's acidic. So we need to raise the pH, which means we need to decrease the hydrogen ion concentration. So if we've got the loop here, and we've got the peritubular capillary right next to it, all right, peritubular capillary wraps around the nephron, blood's passing through it, and so it is transporting bicarbonate and hydrogen ions, which are going to eventually end up at the lungs. However, as it passes through the kidneys can modify the concentration of the blood. And so here, we're going to decrease the hydrogen ion concentration because we're going to excrete hydrogen ions. So we start getting rid of hydrogen ions as the blood passes through. And so the remaining bicarbonate goes to the lungs, And so the bicarbonate is still combined with more hydrogen ions to make carbon dioxide to get exhaled. Could have spread that out a little bit better. So here we're decreasing the hydrogen ions by the kidney as well as the lungs, so we are significantly decreasing the hydrogen ion concentration. Woohoo! Woohoo! Yeah, acid-base balance. Good stuff. Okay, I think we just finished the urinary system. One more chapter left, saving the best for last, right?